We are with the wonderful director, Carpenter, who is directing Harry's Townsend's Last Stand. Tell me about the disease that is prevalent in this show.
So Harry is an octogenarian. He's 84, and he's starting to experience what's called sundowner syndrome, which is that disorientation that comes with twilight in elderly people. And the effect of it is that essentially as the light starts to shift, they see things, they get disoriented, they feel vulnerable, but they also can get quite angry, and even when it's really bad, violent. Harry doesn't have it to that extent yet, but he really is starting to lose track of the threads of conversation.
Now, what's the difference between that and Alzheimer's and dementia?
So sundowner syndrome is the beginnings of it's the beginnings of dementia. Let me say it again. Sundowner syndrome is the beginnings of dementia. So it's sort of an early indication that you will have increasing levels of dementia. And in a way, Harry's incredibly fortunate because it isn't happening to him until he's now in 84. He's been an incredible man of the radio, a real raconteur, a real charismatic person. And now he finds himself as, in a really vulnerable situation where he's not able to keep track of the threads of conversation.
Does he know this is happening to him?
He does, but he doesn't know the extent of it until his son shows him the extent of the problem.
I think that's the thing that's the most interesting about this disease is that when you figure it out, what do you do?
What do you do? Indeed. So
because you're already gone enough that you can't help yourself.
And when you realize it's happening, and you immediately need to find some way of coping with it. This is a man who lives in his own home and takes care of himself. His daughter comes every morning, lays out his pills, makes his breakfast, but then he's on his own all day into the evening.
And that's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time.
Especially for somebody like
and
that.
when your mind is turning and you're not quite aware of what reality is, just imagine, and then it compounds. So when Alan sees this, he realizes that not only must he act to move his father from his home into something that's more assisted, he must do it immediately. He doesn't have any time really to waste.
How did this play come to you?
This play came to me because I had directed Hamlet with Carol Lawrence, who is very dear to Dennis Grimaldi, our producer, and to great success. Carol and I had a wonderful time with the process.
Yeah, I really
her
liked that
production was her performance was beautiful. Carol's performance was beautiful, and I think Dennis appreciated the care with which I directed her. And also, it's a comedy. It is very much like this play. A laugh-out-loud comedy that is also incredibly poignant, which is my favorite kind of play because it's so true to life. So I think it was because of Carol that Dennis sent it to me. So he sent me the play about 9 months ago. He'd already been working on it for 2 years with George. It started as a short story, and then Dennis worked on it with him, crafting it with Len and another actor as the son. And Dennis sent it to me for my consideration. I was thrilled that he asked because I am in this very situation myself with my own mother. She doesn't have sundowner syndrome to my realization yet, but she is starting to lose track of threads here and there. And she's a very smart woman, so it's very daunting to see someone like that. It's personal, and it's going to be for everyone who sees it because we're all vulnerable to this story.
But this is a subject right now that is so prevalent, and yet we
Absolutely.
do not have conversations. For some reason, this country has forgotten how to converse.
It's absolutely vital. It's about the moment we're in. We all have aging parents and grandparents, or we're in the situation, or we've just dealt with it, or we're going to. So this is so true to life. And yet it's dealt with great humor and love. It's a beautiful play. And Len as Harry, Craig Bierko as his son, these two guys going toe-to-toe, I say it's a can't miss.